Exciting news! I'm an uncle again! The hatchlings are so cute. I'll show you pictures later. Hi, and welcome to Quilt Meets World, where we have adventures in piecing and joy. I'm Russ. Come on into my sewing room. Percy has been crazy, and I'm saying this in a really good way. He's been running around, chasing things, trying to climb on furniture like he's four. Like, I haven't seen him do things like this in ages, not even back when Jesse was around. It is, amazing. Not going to question it. I do know that when we saw the doc about a month ago, she gave him an anti inflammatory for a hot spot he had up in his, whatever this area would be called on a cat. Um, and she said that that might also have a little bit impact on his energies and stuff because anti-inflammatory means less inflammation on arthritis and everything too. So uh, maybe he's just feeling better from that. Maybe he's just getting extra energy from something else. I don't know. I'm not arguing right now. I know he's due back next weekend for his Silencia shot for the arthritis. And after that, we will see what's going on. He's got about another week or so left of this anti inflammatory. So, if it's the anti inflammatory, I expect him to slow down after the medication is done. And if it's just, he's just deciding to be a lot better, we'll know in a couple of weeks. So, I'm all excited about that. Riley has been really great on her walks this week. There was a day, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday. There was a day this week we were walking around and there was another doggo coming the opposite direction. So we pulled off into a driveway. I'd rather pull off into a driveway as opposed to a lawn because you don't know what kind of chemicals are on a lawn. So we pulled off into the driveway, had her sit. The other doggo walked by, and the homeowner friend, she actually came out and said, "I saw Riley sitting so beautifully, like she listened and everything." I'm like, she does that every now and then. It's wonderful when she does. It's annoying when she doesn't. So if I can just get her to act all polite more often, that would be awesome. Uh, she just gets overly excited on things. It's it's what it is when you have a hyperactive dog. She did get to play with our next door neighbor's puppy at daycare on Friday, so that was a lot of fun. The neighbor pup isn't allowed to do the running around in the backyard anymore that we used to do because she messed up like all of her joints. um, yeah, she had a couple surgeries or something on the ligaments or tendons. I don't know. So they can't go out and just chase each other up and down the fence anymore. They do love to play together when they get to go to daycare together. Unfortunately, it's not as often as I would like because their neighbors don't bring her to daycare often enough. The neighbors are out of town, so Lulu is at daycare, and like I said, they played awesomely. And when I was picking up Riley, Lulu came up to the window to say hi, and so that was just so cute. And then yesterday, this exciting thing happened. I had known that I had a piece of mail with tracking arriving because of the USPS informed delivery, and I was kind of stalking the tracking page while I was working on other things. I had seen the page update to say that it was delivered, and it said it was to the front door. And I was like, I don't remember seeing anything come to the front door. My doorbell didn't say anything. So I was like, maybe it missed it. It's missed a couple things before. I went out the front door and no package. Not a surprise. I would have went out the garage if I had known the package. Went down to the mailbox, picked up my package, came back up, and as I'm getting back to the front door, I hear chirping. And I'm like, what the heck is that? And I look at the wreath that is next to the front door, and I see that there's stuff in it. And I kind of peek in a little bit, and there's these two little beaks sticking out, and I'm like, oh, so cute. So I put my package down, I grabbed my phone, and I snapped a couple photos. I made sure I stayed far enough away because I don't need Mama Bird getting all upset at me and everything. But they were just so cute. They're like yard finches or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a bird aviary. That might be what the word is, an aviary or bird watcher or whatever those people are. So they're just cute little birds. And Mama Bird didn't get upset at me. Hopefully, Mama Bird is still taking care of them because, like I said, I didn't get close enough to them. I just snapped as far away as I could and pulled up the zoom. This is the fourth year in a row which I've had birds in my front porch. The first year was in a fern. We had bought ferns to put around the front porch because that's apparently a thing that people do. I have an issue remembering to water them, but that's besides the point. We had pulled the ferns down to give them some water, and we had looked in, and there was a nest in one of them. So we're like, okay, we're not watering that one because we don't want to get the nest all messed up. Uh, and then the last 3 years have been in the wreath next to the yard or next to the door. So either that means I need to start buying ferns, or I need to buy pretty decent wreaths for the birds so that they can have a little place to nest. Here in the sewing room, I got a little bit done. I got the last few, is it triangulation sewn of my blueberry quilt, so I can now start trimming them down into the actual end product of House Square Triangles and start piecing together. I'm gonna have to go figure out where I put the pattern. It's right over there somewhere in that pile, and make sure I know what the block is supposed to look like, so I know how I should be randomly sorting these loosely because yeah, my little OCD. I don't want to have two of the same fabrics touching it. Help. Yesterday, my friend Steven of the Idiot Quilter had his semi-annual, twice a year, retreat that he hosted on Zoom. It was a ton of fun. It started out slow for me yesterday because I was dragging from the week at work, and I got, I think it was by lunchtime, I got the left and right borders on from the baby quilt, and like he did the slideshow of all of the retreat quilt submissions. There was a lot of gorgeous quilts there. I was about to get ready to go into the kitchen and fix me some lunch, and my phone rang. And I'm like, why is the local quilt shop calling me? So I answer it, and I'm all cheerful and everything. And she says, hey, it's Cindy. And I was like, and you are calling to tell me that I'm an idiot because I forgot to come pick up my quilt after the porch party. The porch party was last week, and I had intended to go pick up my quilt either Wednesday or Friday during my lunch break, but neither one of them was convenient because I've been blowing up at work. That shouldn't be. So, since it was lunchtime for the retreat, I said, okay, I'm going to just run, go pick it up. If I miss a little bit after lunch, I missed a little bit after lunch. It's just the product of happening because the quilt shop is not open on Sundays for me to go on a pick it up and everything. So I was like, I'll go pick it up. I don't want you guys to say that you're responsible for it. So I went there, picked it up, grabbed a couple other things, came home, and finished the retreat off. By the time that the retreat finished, I did manage to get the other two inner borders on, the top and bottom inner border, and then the outer border on. And that makes the baby quilt 100% complete for the top. The outer border is a directional fabric, so I had to cut a little bit extra, or I had to buy a little bit extra, which I was at the quilt shop today. I should have bought more fabric of that. simply because when it's directional, you have to cut with the grain or length of fabric for the top and bottom, and then with the fabric for the left and right, so that all of the stuff is in the same direction. I have enough of the horizontal cuts to make 3 more baby quilts of that size. I should buy some more of the fabric. So I should put a list out there that says I need to go buy more of this fabric before it's no longer available. So yeah, that's what my plan is. I think I just need another half yard of it, if that, based on what I know I have. Anyway, that quilt is done for the top. I do need to get it quilted. Show and tell for it is going to be in just under 2 weeks. So I now have an official deadline that I need to make for it. Still don't know when the baby shower is going to be, but that's besides the point. Because of the retreat, I shifted my normal Saturday 11sies live to this morning, Sunday, for second breakfast. It was at 9:30 in the morning. I know not everybody can make it. That's fine. Not everybody gets up at that hour, but I just wanted to sew with you guys and see what I can get done. I ended up sewing up the second block of the Fort Worth Fabric Studio Sew Along. This one is called the Sour Block, which lemons are a little tart, not sour. I'm sorry, Sour Star is what they're calling. I would call it more of a tart star. uh, so yeah, this was a lot of fun. I do say that I keep it real on here, and it's happened yet again. I goofed in cutting, and I didn't know that I goofed until I was like live on camera. So what happened was I looked at this cutting instructions and I figured out where I did it wrong. I don't know if there's a misprint in cutting instructions or maybe I have an older version of the cutting instruction, but it said to cut a 6-inch strip, and then afterwards it said to cut a 6.5-inch from that 6-inch. And initially I thought, well, maybe I should have cut it the other direction, but I did the math and I was like, I couldn't cut enough in there. So I think that there might have been a misprint. Either way, I had 2 choices on how to fix it, and obviously I wasn't going to fix it live on camera. Choice number 1 was to Frankenstein a little piece off to the side of it to make my 6-inch piece a 6.5-inch piece. Option 2 is to look at my scrap, see what I had, and cut the 6.5 inch pieces from the scraps, and then I'd have enough to work out whatever I need. I looked at my scraps and I was like, great, I can cut these pieces out of there. So I made the other block with normal pieces. So I have both the blocks here just so that you can see that I am not doing a bait and switch. But then, I went back to the instructions and everything and still got a problem. But I'll tell you what that problem is in a second. I do have a little bit of a demo of what I did for Frankensteining. So this was the original piece, and I was a 1/2 inch short on it. So I cut a 1-inch piece because I need an extra 1/2 inch, and then you also need to add in another 1/2 inch for seam allowances in there. And when I sew these two together, I got basically a Frankenstein piece that is now the right size. Because I know which direction or what this block is going to be, I ended up pressing the seams inward just to try to reduce the bulk in this portion of the seam when it has to do a flying geese. And then I put the flying geese on it, and you can't tell that there was a problem. Unless you look right here, then you can see it. So what I should have probably done was do the Frankensteining on the block that I have left instead of the random block that I have no idea what it's going to be week, which is really tomorrow. Too late now. Looking at the cutting instructions, it might be a another set of flying geese. At which point, at least the week four flying geese will all be Frankenstein the same way, and like my full blocks to be this way, and then whatever the Frankenstein for next week's block is, or actually tomorrow, then they will all be the same. So I can put a little consistency there for my OCD. But honestly, if anybody is looking at a quilt close enough to realize that you Frankensteined two pieces of fabric together just to get a little extra piece because you miscut, they don't deserve another quilt. So I'm not going to stress about it. I don't have enough fabric to cut the other 3.5 by 6.5 inch pieces that I need because my scrap that I have left is 3.25 inches, and you can't cut 3.5 from 3.25. So, like I said, everything will be the same and consistent with the next block or whatever we are doing tomorrow. I really wish I knew what we were doing tomorrow so I'd feel more comfortable. But I will find out at 9 a.m. with everybody what we are doing for the next week. That's also finishing week. So this time next week, I should have a finished table runner top. I do have a couple announcements. These are exciting. The first one is I told you about a month ago that I did a thing. I submitted a quilt for consideration in the East Cobb Quilt Show. Wednesday, I received an email from them. I had butterflies in my stomach, and it took me a few minutes, but I finally opened it. And my quilt was accepted in the quilt show. I'm so excited. That means, though, I also have to make a hanging sleeve for it, which that in itself is not too much. And then I have to hand stitch it to the back of the quilt. That part is a lot of effort because I don't like hand sewing. I mean, I'll do it if I have to. I'll do it for binding for certain projects. Obviously, I'm going to have to do it for the hanging sleeve. But yeah, I'm just over the moon with the fact that my quilt is hanging in a show, and it's a juried show. It's not like the porch party. I mean, porch party is awesome, but a actual juried show. It's almost like I have artwork in the Louvre. It's going to feel like a finger painting done by a 5-year-old compared to what everything else is in there. But it's still exciting. I am already planning to do a video of the photos from the show that I take. So definitely look forward to that. If anybody is wondering, the show is June 6th through 8th, and it is here in Marietta, Georgia. So if you're almost local or close enough and you want to go see a show, come see it June 6th through 8th. I'm probably going to be there on the Saturday. I haven't figured out the full plans, but I will figure it out. The other announcement that I have is this coming Friday, I will be having a 1100 subscriber celebration. I hit 1,000 subscribers about a month and a half ago, but life has been way too far in the way from have a celebration. So I've now managed to get that fully scheduled, got everything all set up, and it's going to be this Friday. There's going to be special surprise guests. Not going to tell you who's going to be all involved. And there's going to be giveaways. Yes, you heard right. Giveaways. There are a couple cool prizes lined up to celebrate the event, but you have to be a subscriber in order to be able to enter giveaways. That means those of you who are not subscribers now need to go find that little subscribe button down there and tap on it in order to be subscribed for this weekend. If you don't set your alarm for this weekend, you could also hit the little notification icon and have it notify you ready. So I am so excited to share that with you. And like I said, it's going to be a lot of fun. Anywho, that is all I have for this week's shenanigans. Thank you so much for spending this little bit of time out of your day with me. If you wouldn't mind, please give the YouTube algorithm a little bit of love by liking, commenting, subscribing, and telling a little birdie how cute they are. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and an awesome week. Until next time, stay happy and keep stitching.